Hey guys, it's your girl Boonie, and you're listening to episode 182 of the Boonie Breakdown Podcast, your source for all things responsible and ratchet. Support for today's episode comes from Dame Products, a sexual wellness brand set on design-forward, community-based pleasure education. You guys know I don't put my name on things that I do not love and use myself. And so what I love about this brand is it is on a mission to help close the pleasure gap for people with vulvas. And as a Boonie Breakdown listener, you can receive 10% off your purchase by using the code Boonie, all caps. Details on how to purchase can be found in the show notes and on thebooниebreakdown.com. All right, welcome to this week's episode, guys. We are winding down the season after this week's episode. There is only one episode left in season 9 of the Boonie Breakdown Podcast. I have something really good prepared for the season finale. So I hope that you guys are excited. But for this episode, it is a solo episode, some quality time with your girl Boonie. We only had one other solo episode this season. I try to do 2 every season. And so I'm squeezing one in before we wrap up. You know how I do. A good little kiki. I'm going to share some life updates. I had been hinting at that in my Insta stories if you follow me at the Boonie Breakdown on Instagram. But some life updates and just some bullshit. I need to get some things off my chest. I don't know if it's bullshit per se, but we need to get some things off my chest. And so we will be doing that. So stick around for all of my random rants. All right, we're going to hop right into the pick of the week. All right, this is a spoiler. So if you've not watched Legendary on HBO Max and you care about preserving who the winner is, then I suggest you skip ahead about 2 minutes. All right, skip to the 5-minute mark on this episode, and that should get you by. Shout out to HBO Legendary. The show is phenomenal. It follows the ballroom culture. Season 2 was excellent. I will say shout out to the House of Miyake Mugler for winning. So if you have not checked out Legendary, you need to do it ASAP. I will say this though, people who've listened, I feel we were robbed because of fucking Tiffany Haddish, fuck her, for not letting House of Balenciaga continue on in the body category so we could have seen Mother Shannon, because I saw her with them bananas on, so she was about to do a whole little Josephine Baker situation, and I felt like we were robbed of that because Mother Shannon serves the body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. I did not think I could dislike Tiffany Haddish more until she was a guest judge on this episode. The whole season, the production, Deshaun, love him, love Law. Jamila and Megan even grew on me a bit this season, but I still wouldn't be mad if they replaced them with Uncle Clifford from P-Valley. So many great guest judges this season. But kudos all around to the team at Legendary HBO. And shout out to my Butch Queen crush. This is my first crush, Diego from the House of Miyake Mugler. Diego fine as fuck. So I'm with Law and Megan and how fine he is. So if you watched if you watch Legendary, I would be curious your thoughts. I feel like House of Tisci deserved a spot in the finale just based off their previous performances, but shit happens. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen House of Miyake Mugler versus House of Tisci. If you have no idea what I'm talking about as you're listening to this, then you need to go ahead and learn some things about the ballroom culture, and Legendary is a good start. So pick of the week. All right, let's hop into housekeeping. Feedback from episode 181, Coochie is not currency, with my girl Yoni Talks over in LA. Someone said, Boonie, oh my God, I love this episode, especially the conversation around the bad bitch lifestyle. I honestly must say it sounded like you guys were in on my conversation with me and my friends. I wanted to get a BBL, but my best friend quickly told me, are you getting the titties? Are you getting the teeth? Are you getting this done? And I realized I did not have the coin. So you guys were spot on. Another great episode. So if you have not checked out Coochie is Not Currency, please go back and listen to last week's episode with Yanni of Yanni Talks TV. All right. There's also a promo code going on Boonie Breakdown merch. Right now, you can use the code BLACK, BLACK20 to save 20% on all orders of $25 or more. So if you're new here and was like, oh, I need to get some merch, I know sis had merch, yeah, you can head on over to theboonieBreakdown.com and use that code to save. The code is good through June 30th, 2021. Also, if you want to support our show, we have a Patreon. We have a Ratcheteer gang. In fact, today the group chat was popping, talking about all of the Nick Cannon drama. So for as little as $3 a month, you get some great extra perks by joining our Patreon gang. If you join at the $6 or higher level, you get access to a monthly live event. I am working on our July event now, and I think everyone is going to enjoy that. So you can sign up at patreon.com/The Boonie Breakdown. And also, if you checked us out and you're new here and you're just coming back, be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Boonie Breakdown, on Facebook at The Boonie Breakdown, on Twitter at Boonie Breakdown. When sharing this episode, you can use the hashtag The Boonie Breakdown. You can use the hashtag PODIN, PODIN. Be sure to tag us, throw it in Insta stories, retweet. You don't even have to do something new. You can just retweet the tweet that I put out. And share it to your network, and those shares just helps me reach a bigger audience. So I really do appreciate you guys sharing. You guys have made season 9 another stellar season for the Boonie Breakdown podcast. And if you want to go above and beyond, you can head on over to the Purple app. That if you listen on a Apple device, and you can open up that podcast app, go in there, and you can hit those 5 stars. Yes, if you hit those 5 stars, it helps us out so many times. I gotta shout out No Cut Card too, because he must love leaving this review. I like this show, 5 stars, and Boonie got a bubble back there. He put that up Monday. I know he put a similar review in there a couple weeks ago, but I'm gonna read it again just like it's brand new. So you can do just like No Cut Card too, and leave us 5-star review with some words. So that is it for this portion of the episode. So let's get ready to break it down. All right, guys. So I just felt like this episode, I didn't know what kind of solo episode I wanted to do. And I was looking at some of the Ask Boonie questions, and I feel like I'm going to save those off. We'll get to them at some point, but I just didn't feel like for this particular solo episode, that's the direction that I wanted to do. Cause some of y'all sent some nasty stuff. Y'all be sending me nasty shit, which I appreciate your openness and your honesty. And I appreciate that we have a community and a level of trust that you guys have with me, that you're willing to share some of the information that you do share with me. So I do not take that charge lightly. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that. And I'm appreciative because you guys really, really do tell me some of y'all dirt. But I will share this with you all. During this season, I moved. And this is probably like my first major move as an adult. And this was a lot. And to keep doing content and trying to stay creative when my mind was just not here. So I will say, even with all that was on my plate in my personal life, I must even say I'm so happy and thrilled that I don't feel like I was able to start a Patreon and do content for that, to even still do my podcast episodes weekly and to not miss a beat on any of that as well. And so, but moving ain't no whore, as they say in Baltimore, ain't no whore. And I'm trying to pace myself and say it all doesn't need to be done right now, even though you want it to be done and you want to be settled. And so that has been my big thing. And I look back at the timing of this to make the decision to move during the pandemic, to be in a position that I could afford to do this and to do it comfortably. And again, shout out to KG for being on my ass about paying off debt. I would not have been able to do that. And so I think it's this really weird place for me with the pandemic and processing what happened, because it was so devastating to many people on many different levels. People lost loved ones, lost jobs, lost their livelihoods, and the anxiety with just trying to stay alive in a global health pandemic. And so for me, it's like to be able to survive through all of that and thrive personally to make these huge life decisions. I don't take that lightly. And I do think sometimes we get lost in the to-do list and the what ain't done list, the what we should be doing list. We get caught in all of this outside noise, but that we never really pause just to look, to be like, whew. And I think for this year, I know it sounds so cliche, but so many people did not make it to today. They did not make it to this moment where you are listening to this podcast. And so there is a level of thanks and reverence to say, I made it. You might not have anything else that, per se on a goal checklist or things on the outside world can measure your successes on. But the fact that you've just made it to this point during a pandemic, that is to be commended, and that should be celebrated. And for those of us who were able to continue to live life fairly unaffected, right, with some first world problems, inconveniences, but to not have suffered from devastating loss personally, whether it was financial, loss of life, etc. I do think you should commend yourself for just being able to survive mentally. The toll of watching so much death and so much bad news, that takes a toll on you too. And so I just felt like, in my own personal reflection of where I am today versus where I was last year in 2020, it's like, wow, you did that, bitch. And so I want each of you to pause as well and to look back over this past year. Not saying my whole situation was peaches and roses. It was not. I had some very trying times during the pandemic. And I've been very vocal. I'm a caregiver for some elderly family members, and that role of caregiving that ain't no whore either. And so, for everyone who's just been able to maintain, to make it, to pat yourself on the back, hit your blunt, toast to yourself, pour you some champagne, make a drink, and celebrate that. Celebrate it. And I really was reflecting and finally writing in my journal what that meant to me. Because here's the thing, I was going to say, like, part of my thing, and this might sound dumb, but y'all know I'll be sharing shit with y'all. The pandemic made me realize that it probably was the most amount of time I had spent in my previous home since I bought the damn thing. And sitting there was just like, I was slowly making changes. Okay, I'm going to get a new bed. Oh, I was looking for light fixtures. Oh, I'm going to change this. And then I realized, you know what? I don't want none of this shit no more. I don't want none of it. We want a whole new situation. And then I was like, no, we're not going to do that. Just stay here. But I started to feel stifled. I started to feel like my creativity wasn't there as much anymore. I was wholeheartedly comfortable, so comfortable there. And I just started looking around again, like, should I do this? Do you want to do this? Yeah, we're gonna look for something else. Maybe it's time to spark something different, a change of scenery, all of those things. And I remember writing down the things that I wanted in my journal. This is what I wanted, XYZ, bam, bam, bam. And to be in my new space, and I'm looking at that list like, damn, bitch, you got it. Everything I wrote, I got it. It may not look the way that I thought it was going to look, but I have everything, all of my wants, right? It's one thing to have your needs met, but when you can get those wants met too, I feel like it's like a different, it is a different level of what's the word I'm saying? It deepens that appreciation for the things that you have, right? When you're able to like, wow, I was able to provide not just my needs, but my wants and my needs. And that is no small feat. But I will say the final deciding factor for me to take the jump and take the leap into a new space was that I've always wanted a king size bed. I had a queen size bed. It's, for the most part, most nights it's just me. But I was like, I wanted a king size bed, but I kept thinking, no, I'll get when I'll move when I'm partnered. I'll move. And I'm sitting here thinking, no, it's no time to wait no more. And I keep saying this too, and I've said it in other episodes of the season, that it sounds so cliche because we think time is our friend and we have all the time in the fucking world. But no, we do not. And so I'm sitting here like, bitch, you don't. Oh, so a king size bed would not fit in my old bedroom. But it's like we're sitting here waiting. You're waiting for these things to happen in order for you to get something you want, as simple as a king size bed. Like, girl, if you don't go live your damn life. And so for me, it's like, oh my God, I was so pumped when I fucking ordered the king size mattress, because it was just like, I'm finally getting a motherfucking king size bed. And this is something I wanted, something so fucking simple, but it's going to bring me so, so, so much pleasure. I also think, I did not want to record right now because I had scheduled, knowing everything that was going to be happening in my life, I had tried to schedule and batch record a lot of these episodes earlier in the summer. I had wanted to stop recording after a certain date because I knew I was going to be moving at this date, and I did not want to be overwhelmed and burdened. And so I'm sitting here after Father's Day recording an episode that I did not plan and did not want to record because I had a guest flake on me. I had podcast guest flake. That happens. I thought I had my season tied up nice in a bow. We'd be done. But they flaked. And now I'm like, oh my God, well, here's your second solo episode that you need to do. And I'm saying, I'm not to tie it together, y'all. Follow my train of thought. But I just was celebrating Father's Day. And for me, again, these snapshots to honor where we've come from, to honor the progress that you've made. Sometimes you feel like, oh, it's not where I want it to be, but its progress has been made. And so for me, I think Father's Day was always a really sore holiday for me. It was growing up without my father there. Father's Day triggered me. For the longest time, social media triggered me on Father's Day when people would share posts of their fathers holding them or pictures with their fathers as a child. And it always hit me. I don't have those pictures. I can't share those things. Caught up in the what ifs, the things that didn't happen. But I was blessed to have a chance to develop a relationship with my father later in life. And I must say that is one of the relationships I am most proud of. I feel like a lot of you listening probably have pegged me as a certain type of person, and some of your thoughts are true. You might be saying vivacious, outgoing, loud, etc. But there are some things in real life that trigger me, and I kind of don't know how to deal with it. And so I just as I was driving home from my father's house on Father's Day, I just had to take a moment and do like a moment of, wow, look how much progress you've made. Um, and I really am proud of the relationship that I am cultivating with my father. And again, the snapshot. Is it 100% everything I built up in my mind as a child? Absolutely not. But I felt like that was another progress report for me to be like, stop, pause, look how far it's come. Yeah, it may be some room to grow and things that can change. But girl, you doing that shit. Like, you used to be so scared. And now you're doing it. So that is my charge to my ratcheteers this week, is to stop, because we be so busy, because we think the world is going to stop moving and rotating if we don't finish the things on our to-do list, right? So if you just stop sometime this week, find a moment, 30 minutes to sit. If you journal, pull out that journal. If you don't journal, if you meditate, if you just need a moment to reflect, if you could just pull out whatever tools, guides, whatever you need for it to get done. And I just want you to look, maybe choose 1, 2, or 3 areas of your life and just do a progress report. Just check in and see, has there been movement forward? Right? Have we made progress? Are there things that I can tweak? Are there things that I can do better to get the things that I want? How can I get me that king size bed, right? That was my little checkpoint. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by the small progress report that you do of how far you come, and the road that you still have left to go may not be as daunting as it seems. Right? And so I just wanted to say that these are my life updates. That is why I had to take a pause from Would You Rather Wednesday, because I just did not have the capacity to think of, would you rather some nuts in your ear or nuts in your eye? I don't know. Like, I just didn't even have the capacity to come up with something as simple as, in your mind, I think for everyone, it's like, as simple as would you rather, but I've been doing would you rather now for 3 years. So sometimes I just need to pause to stop and not think about it. And so thank you guys for affording me that break, and not being mean or nasty or rude about what or would you rathers. This is why. Also, YouTube. I know I launched a YouTube channel during all this. I know I'm fucking crazy. I don't even know what I was thinking, but I put out May 15th as the date. And that's why I dropped them 2 videos, because I had already publicized that May 15th was the date for YouTube. So YouTube videos, new videos will be coming now that things are settling down again, and getting a new schedule, a new routine, some new inspiration going. YouTube will be there soon. So new videos are coming. All right, next thing. This is kind of turning into a little 5-spot episode. But anywho, I want to shout out everybody who celebrated Juneteenth. I feel like, I'll be honest, I was aware of Juneteenth and I knew what it was for quite some time, but I'd never seen anyone celebrate it, or have I even celebrated it or acknowledged the day really prior to last year. I think last year was the first time I did something. I did something with the brand and partnered with another local brand here in Baltimore, and we did a small business crawl. And I just am really excited about what this is going to look like and shape like. Juneteenth was lit for me. I went to like a local Black-owned business here, had like a block party. I ran into so many great folk that I knew, past podcast guests, supporters of the podcast. I actually had a moment where, and if she's listening to this is dope. I had a young lady. I had on my mask. I had nothing really identifying. I had no Boonie Breakdown merch or anything on. And she walked up to me and she's like, "Oh my God, I love your content." And so I'm like, "Oh, thank you." But then part of me was like, "Oh my God, how does she know who I was with my mask on?" So that was dope. Kenny always jokes like, "You a celebrity, yo." I am not. But I also then went to some friends of mine hosted this dope ass party. I had shared clips of it on Insta story. And so for me, it's like, I'm excited about the future celebrations of Juneteenth. Now that it's a federal holiday, people are getting, states were recognizing it. So I feel like this is a black ass holiday. And for it to be the blackest day of the year. So I really think it was dope. And going on Instagram and seeing people up in New York were in Fort Greene Park. I saw some people down in Atlanta were doing gatherings. It was just really dope. And it looked like everyone had an amazing time on Juneteenth. I know I did. And so I am super excited about what that holiday looks like in the future moving forward. Like what kind of creative ways people come up with to celebrate and commemorate and mark that day. If you are not familiar with it, because I know a lot of the things going around was like the day that slavery ended, which is not true. It's just the day in Texas, when the slaves in Texas got the word that they had been free for at least 2 fucking years. So I just think, doing some more education around the day, not negating all the other things that Black people need to advance, to be equal, etc., etc. But, I kind of felt split on the day not being a holiday, the day becoming a holiday without all of these other protections in place. And it'd be nice if Congress can pass an anti-lynching bill after 100 fucking plus years, right? So maybe more things are to come, but at first to me it seems like here is a fucking day off, shut the fuck up kind of thing. So I'm hoping that is not the case. And there will be some continued movement there. So this is my Boonies randomness of the week. Next week is our season finale of the Boonie Breakdown podcast. It'll be a wrap for season 9. Season 10 of the Boonie Breakdown podcast will be launching on August 23rd, 2021. So season 10, August 23rd. Mark your calendars. Also, be sure to support our sponsor, Dane Products. Use the code Boonie for 10% off your purchase. And also, you can head on over. In the meantime, downtime, I'll be doing some fun things with Patreon gang in between seasons. So head on over to the patreon.com/the Boonie Breakdown in order to support us. You guys, it's been so helpful. And I love the little community that we are building with Patreon. But this has been helpful because my live shows are really my big money maker. And I say money maker in air quotes, that help sustain the cost of running the Boonie Breakdown podcast. And so by signing up for Patreon, you guys really help cover the cost, seeing as though I am not able to do live events right now. But you never know. Maybe later this year, we might pop something up. All right. So if you enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, or any app that you listen to your favorites on. Don't forget to leave those reviews too. You might just hear your review on the next episode. Follow us on all social media. Share the episode with those you love, those you don't love, those you fucking hate. I don't make these pretty images for nothing. Have a dope ass week. Stay healthy, safe, and sane. Thank you for listening. And remember, the ratchet in me always honors the ratchet in you. Until next time.